If you were a shareholder of Occidental Petroleum in 2022, then you had a great year because the stock more than doubled. The biggest of those shareholders is Warren Buffett. Over the past few years, the Oracle of Omaha has amassed a stake of over 21% in the energy giant, as well as having $10 billion of preferred stock and warrants to buy $5 billion more of common stock. To top it all off, he has approval to buy up to 50% of the company. In this video, I'll go over why Warren Buffett loves the stock, as well as some other factors that give it a positive future outlook, so you can decide if it's worth adding to your watch list. First, let's go over what Occidental does and Buffett's history with it. Occidental is an international energy company with assets primarily in the United States, the Middle East, and North Africa. They are one of the largest oil producers in the U.S., including a leading producer in the Permian and DJ basins, as well as offshore of the Gulf of Mexico. Occidental has three primary businesses: oil and gas, chemical and midstream, and marketing. Buffett started buying the stock after reading through Occidental's annual report and gaining confidence in the company's growth and leadership. He's steadily been adding to his position ever since, with his last public purchase being in September of 2022 for 6 million shares. In 2019, he helped finance the $38 billion acquisition of Anadarko. At the time, Occidental was in a bidding war with Chevron for the company because of its prized West Texas assets, and Berkshire committed $10 billion so it could top Chevron's bid of $33 billion. In return, Berkshire got 100,000 preferred shares and a warrant to purchase up to 80 million shares of Occidental at $62.50 apiece in a private offering. The preferred stock accrues dividends at 8% per year, which is more than the 5% yield common on equities and 4% on long-term debt at the time. Not everyone was thrilled with this deal. The acquisition saddled Occidental with a ton of debt and committed them to paying Buffett a premium yield that some deemed unnecessary. One analyst's view was that it was a fairly expensive cost of financing for the transaction, even though it carries kind of a nice headline of having Berkshire Hathaway participate in the potential financing. The deal ended up closing, and Buffett has continued to add to his bet on Occidental. Okay, so why does Buffett like Occidental so much? As I mentioned earlier, Buffett started buying the stock after reading through Occidental's annual report and gaining confidence in the company's growth and its leadership. The first reason is cash. No secret that Buffett likes businesses that spew off a lot of cash flow, and Occidental does just that. In its most recent quarter, Occidental had over $4 billion of free cash flow, which, if Buffett was to take over the company, would help fund the renewable expansion of Berkshire Hathaway's energy company. Berkshire Hathaway Energy spent $5.3 billion of cash on capital expenditures last quarter, so another flow of cash flow would certainly help. In addition to helping the energy company fund its expansion, free cash flow also means dividends, which Buffett loves as well. The second reason is pipelines. Buffett's first energy acquisition was in 1999 when he acquired Mid-America Energy, and he has since grown Berkshire Hathaway Energy into a massive pipeline business. The company currently owns over 21,000 miles of pipelines and 22 storage facilities in the U.S. Coincidentally, Occidental owns about 51% of Western Midstream, which is a pipeline company that has over 15,000 miles of pipeline. So an acquisition of Occidental would also bolster Berkshire Hathaway's pipeline business by almost double, although they would still be far behind the largest pipeline companies such as Energy Transfer. The third reason Buffett seems to like Occidental is their management. One of Buffett's investing principles is finding good and honest management and letting them work. He showed a lot of faith in Occidental's CEO, Vicki Hollub, by committing $10 billion for the Anadarko acquisition. He's also praised her numerous times. At one of Berkshire Annual's meetings, Buffett talked about the CEO. What Vicki Hollub was saying made nothing but sense, and I decided that was a good place to put Berkshire's money. So those three things, the free cash flow, the pipeline business, and the management, are three of the main reasons why Buffett really likes Occidental. Besides those three, what other reasons are there for potentially looking at Occidental as an investment? For starters, they've been reducing their debt ever since their acquisition. In fact, they've paid it down by almost half. In addition to reducing their debt, they're also on a share buyback and dividend program. The dividend obviously provides investors with some cash flow, while these share buybacks should help increase the stock price in the long run by reducing the number of shares outstanding. And Occidental says that this share buyback and dividend program can be supported as long as oil is above $40 a barrel, which it is currently about double that. There's also some positive signs for the oil market as a whole in the future. For starters, China has been easing its lockdown and has gotten rid of its zero COVID policy. Since China is one of the largest populations in the world, it should help spike demand for oil as it rebounds. Secondly, because of Ukraine and Russia, many countries have stopped importing Russian oil. This in turn increases demand for all other oil in the world, including US produced. Lastly, OPEC cut its production by 2 million barrels a day in October, and as of their November 29th meeting, they said that they would not increase production and are planning to maintain its current trajectory. With OPEC committed to not flooding the market, it should help keep oil at a healthy price.